I feel like I've told my story so many times, people are getting bored. Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, I was a trans man for several years, or that's what I called myself. And it was the internet that played a massive role in that happening. You know, I hated being a woman, I was attracted to other women, I was gender non-conforming, and rather just accepting that that's, you know, hating being a woman when you're young and all the stuff you go through is perfectly normal. Nothing wrong with being gender non-conforming, nothing wrong with being attracted to other women, but evidently I thought I was born in the wrong body, which was reinforced when I sought help at a gender clinic. So yeah, I mean, running through it, I went on cross-sex hormones, as you can hear in my voice. I underwent the double mastectomy and things like that. And when I started to feel regret for that and detransition, I decided I want to go and find other detransitioners. And I found a lot of them from various different countries. And their stories were remarkably similar to mine. Most of them were LGB, or gender non-conforming, or both. Most of them had other mental health issues that they were dealing with. So I thought, I'm going to talk about this, because this is actually really bad. And no one wanted to hear it, and people said, you're a liar, you were never really trans, there's like 2 detransitioned people, and they detransitioned because of transphobia. And I thought, okay, I'll just keep speaking. And then something happened this year, 2021, where I was sent 2 studies on detransition, one by Ellie Vandenbush and one by Lisa Lippman, and I was reading it, and it was like reading my own story, you know? The majority of the people, the 237 detransitioners that responded to Ellie Vandenbush, said the reason they detransitioned was because they realized their gender dysphoria was related to other issues, and among those reasons were that they detransitioned because they accepted they were just gay, they were just LGB, and they didn't need to believe that they were born in the wrong body for that. The majority of the people who, thank you. The majority of the people that responded to the Lisa Lippman study said they detransitioned because they came to realize that they could be comfortable in their natal sex, and 23% reported that the reason why they transitioned in the first place was because they couldn't accept that they were LGB. So this is an LGB issue, which is why I'm so thankful that I was invited here to talk about this today, because it really is a big problem. And then there was other things like 45% of the people who responded to Ellie Vandenbush said that they felt that they had not been properly informed about the health implications of transition before being handed cross-sex hormones and surgery. Over half, 55% of the people that responded to Lisa Lippman said that they would describe their evaluation as inadequate. So the evaluation process is poor, and I can tell you why, because I went through it myself. It's because of affirmation only. You can walk into these clinics and say, I've been horrifically depressed and suicidal for several years now, but it's because I was born in the wrong body, and they'll go, okay, cross-sex hormones and surgery. More than half of the people who responded to the Ellie Vandenbush thing said that they had at least 3 diagnosed comorbid disorders at the time of evaluation, with the most prevalent being depressive disorders, anxiety disorders, such as PTSD. Why wasn't that addressed before they were allowed to transition? 38% of the people who responded to the Lisa Lippman one said that the reason why they detransitioned was because they realized their gender dysphoria had been caused by trauma, abuse, or other mental health issues. Why isn't this being addressed? Why are LGB people... And you know, I'm throwing statistics at you so you can get a good idea of what's going on, but I've actually lived it. You know, being an LGB person who went through medical transition because I couldn't accept myself, and when the mental health professionals who were supposed to help me and all the other detransitioners, rather than sitting us down and saying, you know, there's nothing wrong with you, you weren't born wrong. Instead, myself and the many other detransitioners that I've spoken to, many of whom are younger than me, by the way, and are LGB, need to live like this for the rest of our lives. You can't undo cross-sex hormones. You can't undo surgery. And I'm fucking angry. Excuse my language. So, yeah, the reason why I came here today is because I know that you're all just as angry as I am. And I know that the abuse is awful. I know that a lot of you have probably received worse abuse than I ever have. But if we can stand together and speak out for this, for LGB people, for vulnerable people struggling with mental health issues, for people who, they need to know that they weren't born wrong. And I'd thank you in joining me in saying that.